What's up, Rushers? Michael here, back on the channel. Today we are diving into the new Light Monkey banner. For those who don't know, Light Monkey is a melee legendary unit with boss battle and enemy defense down tags, which are super beneficial. I've broken this video into 3 parts. First, we are summoning him and I'll give you my initial thoughts on the unit. Second, we are testing him out in some game modes and I'll show you my entire build for him. And finally, I'm sharing my recommended investments for everyone from free-to-play players to the whales. Let's jump right into the summons. And there he is, Monkey King, ready to be summoned. So let's get started. Straight to the summons for him. Now, just a quick tip, if you want to know what the best packs are to buy, if you want to summon up for a unit, it's always going to be the rate up, step up summons, because as you can see, the value you get out of here is incredible. When they mean by best value, it really is the best value. As you can see, these other packs aren't really valuable as much as the first pack here. So I'm going to buy this and then we're going to jump back into the summons. Alrighty, we're ready to go. Wish us luck with the odds here. Now we are going to go all the way to 20,000. Just grab all the Devamon and the extra copies of Monkey King. So let's get started here. Hopefully get some doubles, some triples. Oh, there's a double. Speaking of a double. Hopefully when I record this, I get some better odds. But we'll see. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we spoke too soon. There's a copy of Verde. There he is, Monkey King. Nice, Llama. We need more copies of her. Nice double right there. Another double. Back-to-back doubles. Very, very decent. Copy of Lapis. Okay, now we're slowing down a little bit. Okay, a double. That's not bad. Okay, that's very good. A triple. Nice. This copy of Arda. Keep on going. Now, okay, this is the dry. That was the pity pool right there. Oh my goodness, there's a copy of Sabrina, Melissa, beautiful. But we're looking for, obviously, Monkey King here. Okay, there you go for those summons right there. Yeah, let's continue to 20,000. We might as well, right? Let's just go. Make sure we keep a track of this. I might jump out of here in a second. Once we get another copy of him, just to check where we are at with the total. So 16,000. Couple more here. I think we go all the way down to 900k, then I'll check again. Super close. Nice, there's another copy of him. I think we do this 2 more times. I'll double check. I think it's 1 more time. No, 2 more. Okay, there's the entire banner done. Let's see how high we can get him with the stars. But let's go back and get him upgraded. What do you guys think I will get him to? He was currently a 3-star. I'm predicting at least a 7 to 8 stars. So let's see how high we can get him. There's the 4 and 5-star. 6. Oh, wow. 8-star. Okay, perfect. That's very, very perfect for him. Let's quickly build him out and then I'll show you guys every single thing I did. And there we go. Monkey King is nearly fully maxed within the game. Now, before we get into what I did, let's quickly go through all of his skills. Now, his basic attack deals 270% of attack as damage to enemies within a 3-meter narrow fan-shaped area in front, which is very good as a basic attack. His second attack is called Crit, deals 170% of attack as crit damage, which is a very important stat, to enemies within a 3 meters by 6 meter area in front. Upon a successful hit, applies a CDR, so there's a crit damage rate up buff to itself for 2 seconds. And as you can see, the skill cooldown reduces by 20%. So to counteract that, you want to get his 3 stars with Devamon. Now, what does this do? Well, this actually makes the skills pop up faster, so you don't have to wait a couple of seconds for a skill. This is very mandatory for every character within the game. To make them stronger, you want to make sure you get them at least to the 3-star with Devamon. Moving on to his 5-star exclusive awakening skill, upon receiving a CC or crowd control effect, removes that effect and gains a CC immunity effect for 2 seconds. This also decreases the exclusive skill cooldown by 100%, which is very OP. This is primarily more focused on a PvP aspect of the game. I'll discuss what that means later on in the video when I get to the investments of the heroes. But these effects right here, removing CC effects from the targets, is huge and game changing, along with the immunity so he does not get affected by any CC effects. Moving on to his 7-star awaken skill, as you can see here, these two skills are actually the same. So if you go to the 7-star, you actually get more buffs. Monkey King will do 50% add damage to enemies under a defense down effect. I believe this affects the entire team. Once he uses his skill defense down at 20%, the 50% add damage will be game changing, especially if you want to do more damage within the Dragon Nest or even the guild boss dungeon. But don't forget the buff dealt up increases damage dealt by 20%. Now I think this is only for Monkey King. However, any additional damage that he can do will be game changing just for the more stats. And it's very important once the guild bosses get more competitive and people are pushing high within the rankings for guilds, the extra damage will always come out on top. So overall, I'm pretty happy with his skills and getting them all the way to 7 stars. But what else did I do to upgrade Monkey King? So let's move on to his traits. Now for Monkey King, you want to focus on crit rate, nearly up to 50% as you can see here, but this will be buffed to 100% in battle. So keep that in mind when you're building these characters. You want to aim for around 45 to 50% minimum crit rate on every character. But like I said, it is highly reliant on RNG, so good luck with your trait pools. Now moving on to his accessory. For now, what I'm doing is I'm maxing the crit res and crit damage on him. I think I don't really need the accuracy and evasion right now for Monkey King. So I'm just gonna leave the crit damage and crit res max for now. But if you are building him up, get these two, the crit res and crit damage, to at least level 10 each. And don't forget, when you build a hero and increase their stars, make sure you go to the book and collect this. More accuracy, more stats, the better. So let's go ahead and test him within the Dragon Nest. I don't think testing him in the stage would be a good idea since we have all the high characters. It's pretty easy to take down the bosses within the stages currently. He's in the front line right now next to Melissa. So let's get started in the practice mode and let's see if we can beat our highest damage, which I think is around 50 million this season. But let's check the damage. Let's see if he does more damage being 7-starred awakened. He's doing pretty well. I mean, 7G, 8G damage for a melee unit is very good. He's obviously having the buff defense down, making everyone do a lot more damage. He even is doing a decent amount of damage, as you can see, but we did beat our record from the previous run that we did yesterday. So hey, this is very, very good sign for Monkey King. 63 million on the first hit. I'll do this 2 more times just so we can have a better sample on the overall damage. So we went about up 14 million from our best. So let's use about 49, 50 million as our base record. And let's see right here if he's doing any tremendous damage. 8G, he's like middle of the stack damage wise. So don't expect a crazy damage dealer like Sabrina to be on your team. But like you can see here, around 60 million right now with the damage. Obviously, you can see his buffs that pop up right here. 64 million dungeon damage. Wow, that is crazy. So let's do one more run in the Dragon Nest. Let's just play it out. Let's not even touch the skip button like we did last time. But As you can see, Melissa Sabrina top of the branch with damage. Let's see where he's at. So he's near the bottom damage wise. I mean, AG is still pretty good, but for a 7 awakening, I don't think will be the priority. So we'll get to his investments in the next section. So stay tuned for that. But like you can see here, around 60, oh, maybe even 70. Wow, 70 million damage thanks to his buffs going crazy. We skipped it there, but 74 million total damage. So overall, Monkey King actually was quite decent, below tier when it comes to his damage, but his buff accelerates everyone else's damage tremendously within the dragon nests. So with that being said, I think his 7-star ability is very good. I don't think his 5-star ability may be needed, except if you're very hardcore within PvP. But now I want to discuss the best investments for players between free-to-play to whales. The best build for free-to-play to low spenders is pulling at least one copy and saving for the next banner, or summoning him to the point where he becomes a 3-star unit. If you're free to play, I wouldn't recommend going past 3-star or even investing Devilmon in him. Moving on to mid-game players and Dolphins, I recommend that you get this unit to 3 to 5-star and additionally get his 3-star with Devilmon. This skill, in my opinion, unlocks the character. What do I mean by that? Well, when the battle starts, you will get the skills instantly, and that will put you ahead over your opponent. My late game players or high spenders, I highly recommend you go for minimum 5 to 7 stars on Monkey King. Just being flexible, if you want to go for the 5 or 7-star skill, you can always go for it. But I recommend only going for the 3-star with Devilmon. The reason being, I feel like the 5-star is very situational. And if you want more damage, I guess you can go for the 7-star. But it's really not worth it unless you're a whale. Moving on to my whales and beyond, 7+ stars will be the minimum for this unit, along with his 3, 5, and 7-star with Devilmons. Now, why do I say fully max out Monkey King? Well, if you are in a competitive guild, which if you're a whale, you most likely are, you must have the 7 and 5-star skills with Devilmon, in my opinion, because you want to unlock 100% of the character. Like I said before, you unlock the character at the 3-star Devilmon. However, you unlock the 100% potential of Monkey King once you get the 5 and 7-star ones. So with that being said, I'll put up all of the investments that I think are the best options on the screen, probably on the left side. So if you want to pause the video, take a look. If you're free to play mid-game, late game, or whale, make your decision on the unit. My recommendation is just getting him to at least 3 or 5-star. If you do manage to get him to the 5-star range, you might over time get the unit to 7-star, because over time you will get more copies of the unit just from regular summons within the shop. No, this unit isn't a game-breaking or amazing unit like Lima or even Sabrina. However, he does help a ton with his buffs that he can provide. So what's the verdict? Is he a must-build character within the game? In my opinion, no. But I do recommend that you guys summon for these heroes to at least 3-star, so you're not stuck in the mud with a useless hero below 3-star. That's all for today's video. Let me know if you're planning to summon for the Monkey King. I think he's a solid unit with high investment potential, but the low damage output means you don't necessarily need to max him out. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in the next one.